What's up, guys? It's Rey-Jay back with another video, and in this one I want to break down what's happening with SPY, Tesla, and the overall markets. Please note that I am not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out the Moomoo link. If you deposit $100, you're guaranteed 5 free stocks. Deposit $1,000, you're guaranteed 15 in total. Not to mention 8.1% APY on uninvested cash. This offer ends very soon, in just 2 weeks, so check it out before they run out. Anyways, let's talk about the market. So right now, the market's attempting to push higher, and I do think there's more potential for us to do so. But the resistance we're about to hit is very, very tough. This like 563 to 565 zone for SPY is very tough. There's no guarantee we just break through that very easily. And it is possible we actually see a little bit of a dip first after trying to touch that initially before attempting to break through it after FOMC. So I'll talk more about this in just a couple of minutes, but I first want to talk about this factor right here. So going into next week, okay, Monday is going to be very minor. We just have a couple of bill auctions. Monday is September 16th, 2024. It's going to be very minor. Tuesday is when we have some manufacturing numbers coming out before the market opens. That's going to be more important. We also have some Fed speakers like Logan, but nothing too insane. However, Wednesday is when things get very intense because we have the FOMC meeting and we likely have the first rate cut coming. We're also going to be watching to see what the rate projections are. That's going to be a very, very impactful for the markets. I can't wait to see what this ends up leading to. Now, the market right now is expecting most likely a 25 basis point cut by the Fed. This could change early next week, so we'll see about this. But we're kind of indecisive about whether it's going to be 25 basis points or 50 basis points. We'll just have to wait and see. So there's currently, according to what the market's pricing in, a 55% chance we get a 25 basis point cut by the Fed next week. And there's a 45% chance we get 50 basis points for the cut. I was saying in my video that after CPI came out good, we would have been anticipating that this would start kind of like going up. This would start going up and this would start going down. That's what's been happening for the last couple of days because the market's getting ready for that cut. The market thinks there's a 100% chance we get some kind of cut. You guys can see right here the probability of an ease is 100%. 100%, and there's a 0% chance we get a hike or a zero change in rates. So the market's expecting a cut. The question is, to what extent and how will this affect us? I'll talk more about that in just a second. One last thing. This is what the earnings calendar looks like. Very, very minor, nothing too significant. I'm not going to even like talk too much about this, but in case you guys are interested in playing some of these, you guys can look at these. Anyways, that is it for my analysis right now. So Wednesday is going to be super impactful, the most important thing for the markets. We will see how it ends up going. So what I think is going to likely happen is SPY will try to rally for that 564 area. I think we're going to be trying to fight there, but I don't think that it makes sense for us to just break through this like it's nothing. I think that there's going to be some chop up here initially because historically, every time SPY has hit 563 to 565, it has rejected every single time in history. Okay. So we're entering new potential territory if we do try to break this, but it doesn't usually come that easy when you have such a tough resistance. So what's most likely going to happen is we try to go a little higher next week. We might start to dip a bit. We could be retesting our support very close to 560, maybe even 558 again. Come back up and just continue to consolidate for some time, and then when we get the rate cuts, it might lead us to pushing the new highs, or it may not. We'll see. But considering that there's a big cup and handle on SPY, we could break all-time highs and remain very bullish once we get the FOMC meeting. So I wouldn't be surprised if we get a little retracement for some entry points before we try to continue to push higher. That's a strong possibility. And overall, the market remains bullish, even as I speak for the time being. Okay. For Nvda, the daily looks a little bit more bullish. We still have this gap to fill in the daily up to about 125. And then the 4-hour time frame is also looking pretty decent right now. We have kind of like an inverse head and shoulders like structure. If we were to lose 115, we would turn back down. If we break 120, we remain more bullish. I think we could try to break 120, but it's going to take some time to get there. So give this some time. For others out there, we have ES. ES looks a little bit more bullish to me as we're trying to make higher lows. We still could try to push for these highs towards the 56 60 zone. We'll see if that breaks or not. We'll have to give this some time. If this rejects, we'll be dipping back down. If this breaks, we could be trying to push higher. So we'll see, but be very, very patient nonetheless. We'll see how this ends up going. For others out there, we have Bitcoin. Bitcoin looks a little bit more bullish to me. If we continue to break out, we're looking for basically the 61,000 area. And if we break higher than that, we're looking for this imbalance to fill towards 62,000. If we reject in this zone, we'll be coming back down towards 58,000, but this favors upside a little bit more to me. I think it's going to try to push a little bit higher earlier next week. And whether or not we get a big rally depends on if we get that cut and to what extent, right? If we get a 25 basis point cut, how will the market respond? I'm not as sure about that. It still could be more positive, but if they do a 50 basis point cut, that could cause an even bigger push in the market. So it just depends on what the Fed ends up announcing. That's going to be very, very impactful. For Tesla, the chart's looking more bullish, but we have some tough resistance at 230 and also 235. So it's very simple the way this is going to move. So 230 and 235 is very, very tough resistance. We may start off next week with a little bit of a dip before we try to continue to push higher. We have an inverse head and shoulders. We have this gap to fill up here. If the Fed gives us a cut and we break 235, okay, if we hold above 235, I think we fill the gap and we go all the way up to these much higher levels. We actually have a giant gap over here towards that 246 area. So I think we're going up to 246 next week if we break 235 and if Jerome Powell pumps the markets. If we don't break 235, then Tesla will continue to consolidate and there could be once again another rejection. But 235 is a very, very tough resistance. 230 is also kind of tough. So it's a very, very tough resistance zone. Tesla has potential to break out if we break that resistance after FOMC. We may start off with a lot of chop in this range, but then Wednesday could be a big catalyst day. So we have to wait and see. For NQ, we look more bullish. I think we could try to fill this imbalance going for that 19,580 area. We'll see if that breaks. I think we're going to be pushing a little bit higher for this imbalance, and then we'll see if this breaks or not. If we lose 19,275, we could tip lower, but I think this is favoring upside a little bit more. For, excuse me, the QQQ, it looks more bullish to me. I think that we could be approaching 477, but then it might enter this chop phase between like 470 and 478. I think we're going to be chopping a lot for some time. We're going to push a little bit higher than chop for a bit. And then after FOMC comes out, that will lead to either a big rally into the 480s or we get a big rug pull. We'll just have to wait and see. But this looks more bullish for the time being. Apple is kind of consolidating. If we get a nice FOMC pump, this will be pushing for this imbalance towards 228. There's a possible inverse head and shoulders, so I see potential in this. If we lose 219, that's when I'd be concerned for 217 again. That will turn us more bearish if that fails, especially as we have this gap down here. So I'll be watching that very carefully just to see how it goes. For the IWM, to me, we look a little bit more bullish, especially if we break out higher. We're looking for this imbalance up here around 218. So watch and see how this ends up going. That's going to be very, very key. For other factors out there, we also have, let me just double check this. We have Coinbase. Coinbase is looking a little bit more bullish. If we continue to push, we're looking for a pump all the way up towards this 168 area, followed by 176. And then if we reject, we're looking for a dip. We look more bullish on the daily time frame, so I could be looking for a pump on coin. But we need to try to break this resistance around this 168 area. I think we may shuffle a bit here, but there is still some upside potential. For Amazon, we may retrace, and I was talking about this in my earlier video. We could retrace to 186, if not 184, and then try to bounce after that. So give it some time. Meta is going to likely consolidate a bit, could dip a little bit lower before it tries to bounce. Microsoft may consolidate. We have this tough resistance at this 430 area. It depends if we can break this or not, because the last time we had 430, we did get this rejection. So we have some tough resistance between 430 and 432. And our next target is 434 above that. If those all break, we will be pushing closer to 440. So there's a lot of room for upside if 434 breaks. But for now, we are just going to likely consolidate at 430, and it may take some time to get that break depending on FOMC. Google looks pretty good, but I think we have some tough resistance at this 160 area. If that breaks, we push higher. If we fail, we're going to be dipping. So give it the time it needs, and we'll see how things end up going. Anyways, that's it for my video. I'm going to end things from here real quick. I'm not going to go over everything like AMD and the others. For now, I'll be going over those on Sunday. So I'll do a more in-depth video then. I'll try to upload another video tomorrow to give you guys another update. Until then, I just want to say I really appreciate you guys for your attention. Please have a great day. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Have fun. And I'll be back tomorrow, hopefully, for another quick update. So with that being said, I'll be talking about what I project to happen possibly after FOMC in my video for tomorrow. And then for Sunday, I'll give you guys a more in-depth video for all the tickers like Palantir, AMD, SPY, QQQ, everything, as I typically do. All right, so I'll see you guys soon tomorrow. Have a great day. Enjoy what life has to offer, and I'll be back for another update. Thank you, and peace out.